You don't need magic. You don't need tricks or charm or some secret skill that other women seem to have. What you truly need is meaning. Because when a woman speaks with honesty, with the right timing, and with a calm kind of strength, she doesn't just get noticed for a moment. She becomes unforgettable, not only in someone's mind, but also in their emotions, in their senses, in their body. She becomes a feeling that stays, that lingers in a way that's hard to explain but impossible to ignore. Let that truth sink into your chest for a second. Let it breathe with you and rest inside you. Somewhere along your life, someone fed you a lie. They taught you that in order to keep a man's attention, you had to behave in a certain way, fit into a certain mold, be a bit sweeter, smile more often, dress a little nicer, play it cool even when you care deeply, answer fast, pretend you're relaxed even when you're not, be fun but never too real. They handed you rules, strategies, tricks, little performances you were supposed to master. Yet here you are still wondering why all of that doesn't work, why you can give and still feel unseen, why people can look at you but not really notice the real you, why you try so hard but still go home feeling invisible. You ever notice how some women talk endlessly but leave no real impact? They speak but nothing truly lands. Their words are noise, not connection. Then there's another kind of woman, the one who barely talks at all, but when she decides to speak, even if it's just a simple sentence, the entire room feels it. The space shifts, people pause, heads turn. That's not magic at all. That's presence. That's a woman who understands the power of her voice, who knows the weight her words carry, who isn't guessing or performing. She speaks from her core, from a grounded place inside. And that energy is unforgettable. And today, that's exactly what we're unlocking inside you. Before we go deeper, just take a second for yourself. If you haven't already, press like or subscribe, not for me, but for you. Do it because you're finally ready to stop feeling overlooked. Because if there's any part of you that feels like you've been doing everything right, yet still aren't truly seen, what we're about to uncover might be the shift you've needed for a long time. Now close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a calm lake early in the morning. The water is completely still, like polished glass. You bend down, pick up a tiny pebble, and drop it gently into the water. Even that tiny pebble sends ripples moving outward across the whole surface. That's what intentional words do. Not loud, not dramatic, not forced, just precise. A soft whisper with the power to echo long after you walk away. But what are most women doing? They're throwing handfuls of rocks into the water, shouting across it, tossing out too many words, trying to impress, trying to be noticed, trying to create waves by force, hoping something hits the heart, but it rarely does. Because the secret isn't in how many words you use. The secret is in the energy, the emotion, the vibration behind those words. Here's something most people never learn. The subconscious mind, the deep place where connection and attraction actually form, does not respond to logic. It listens to emotion. It reacts to tone, rhythm, confidence, symbolism, presence. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And that applies not only to personal growth, but to how people connect, bond, and fall for each other. A man doesn't fall for you because you explain things clearly. He falls when you spark something inside him. Something wordless, mysterious, and emotional. Something he can't clearly describe but can't stop returning to in his thoughts. Something that hits his chest more than his mind. The issue isn't that you're not trying. It's that you've been using strategies that don't reach the part of him that matters. You ask him, "How was your day?" And he replies, "Good." You continue with, "What do you do for work?" And he gives a short answer. Then silence follows. Nothing flows. nothing sticks. And you start wondering if something's wrong with you, but nothing is wrong with you. Your words simply didn't touch anything deep inside him. They stayed on the surface. And let me make this very clear. This is not your fault. You were trained to perform instead of connect. But that ends now. When you learn how to speak with purpose, when your words come from a place of feeling and intention instead of pressure and fear, things begin to shift. When you understand not just what to say, but how and when to say it, everything changes. When you show up with calm energy instead of nervousness, you stop blending into the background. People sense you. They feel your presence before they even hear your words. He feels you, and in that moment you become unforgettable. You don't need 50 clever lines. You don't need rehearsed scripts or complicated tricks. Sometimes all you need is a few simple words spoken with full presence, with a tone that's steady, gentle, but sure. You need that grounded softness that makes a man pause mid-thought and ask himself, who is she? Not because you're trying to impress him, but because you're anchored in yourself. That's not some pickup technique. That's poetry. That's feminine clarity. That's emotional intelligence wrapped in a natural rhythm. When you learn to speak with meaning instead of noise, you stop chasing attention. You start drawing it. You stop stretching yourself thin trying to prove your worth. You start attracting people simply by being real. Let's keep moving deeper into this truth. The human mind doesn't hold onto words the way people think it does. It holds onto the emotional imprint of a moment. It remembers tone, pace, energy, and how the other person made them feel in that instant. It's rarely the sentence itself that stays with someone. It's the feeling behind it. That feeling becomes memory. That memory becomes attraction. That attraction becomes connection. Write this somewhere or remember it well. People might forget what you said, but they never forget how you made them feel. This is more than a quote. It's a psychological truth, especially with men. He won't remember the exact line you said, but if your words hit him somewhere he wasn't expecting, somewhere raw, somewhere honest, he will keep that moment with him for a very long time. Let me paint another picture for you. Imagine you walk into a dark room filled from wall to wall with balloons. Each balloon has the same sentences written on them. Hey, how are you? Just checking in. Hope you're good. It all blends together, feels repetitive, feels like more of the same energy that fills the world every day. The air becomes heavy with how ordinary it all feels. Now imagine you don't bring another balloon into that room. You bring one small candle. You light it. That single flame pulls every eye toward it. It warms the space. It brings life into the room. It makes every balloon around it fade into the background without effort. That is what your presence becomes when your energy is genuine instead of rushed, when your words come from depth instead of insecurity, when you speak from your real self instead of your fear. And that is exactly the kind of woman you are becoming by understanding this. Many of you hold yourselves back from speaking deeply because you're scared, even if you don't admit it out loud. You're scared you won't be understood, scared that if you speak with real emotion, you'll seem too intense, too dramatic, too serious, too much. So you go back into autopilot. You send safe little texts like, "Hey, what's up?" or "How's your day?" They're harmless. They won't upset anyone. They won't reveal anything, but they also won't make anyone feel anything. They won't leave a spark or a memory. They won't make a man stop and think about you later. They're safe, but they're forgettable. But you weren't created to live like background noise. You weren't born to just blend in, to be another soft voice in a crowded room. You were meant to stir something in people, to reach places inside them they didn't even know were waiting to be touched. But somewhere along the way, society taught you to shrink yourself, to stay quiet, to be polite, to avoid rocking the boat, to keep your emotional waves small and controlled. But polite doesn't leave a mark. Polite keeps everything smooth, but smooth is forgettable. What leaves a mark, what stays, is presence. When your words carry feeling, when the way you speak creates images or hints at a story, when your energy moves through your tone, a man doesn't just hear your words, he experiences them. You stop being just another message on his phone. You become a sensation, a memory, a shift in his breathing, not because of the words alone, but because of the way you said them, because of the energy behind them, because of who you were in that moment. That's what he returns to. That's what he can't shake off. So from this moment forward, let this be your new standard. No more empty messages that mean nothing. No more surface-level conversations that drain your energy and give you nothing back. No more talking just to avoid silence. Every phrase you send, every voice note you record, every sentence that leaves your lips, let it come from a real place inside you. Let it come from the version of you who is honest, grounded, and alive. Not the version you think will be liked. Not the softened version you use to impress. Just the real, steady you. Stay with me, because what's coming next will unlock even more inside you. We're about to go deeper into how you speak in a way that doesn't just grab attention for a moment, but holds it long after you're out of sight. How a few words can settle into a man's chest, echo in his mind, and replay when he least expects it. Words that don't just land, they stay. Words that touch his memory and his imagination at the same time. This is where the real shift starts. Now, let's move to something simple but powerful. 3 little words that change everything without you having to force a thing. The words are you and me. At first, they might sound small, soft, even ordinary. They're not loud, they're not dramatic. They're not the kind of words people write poetry about. But don't be fooled by how gentle they sound. These 3 words aren't just spoken, they're painted in the air. They create a picture, a feeling, a shared moment. You and me. Say them slowly. Notice how they almost pull 2 energies together without trying. It's not a pickup line. It's a reflection, a tiny soft whisper that says, there is a possibility here. It plants a seed. It doesn't push, it doesn't beg. It simply opens a small door in his imagination. And the male mind, the unconscious part that reacts before logic kicks in, responds faster to images and emotion than to explanations or long paragraphs. Men don't fall because you convince them. They fall because a moment hits them in a place they can't explain. To make this clearer, imagine Denzel Washington looking into a mirror, talking to the younger version of himself. He wouldn't give him some rehearsed line. He'd say something like, "Son, it's not about perfect words. It's about what those words stir inside you." That's the truth. Impact is emotional, not logical. Now picture yourself sitting across from a man. The mood is playful, light, easy. You could say something basic like, "I like talking to you," but instead you lean in just a little, give a soft smile, nothing over the top, and you say, "You and me could have dangerously good conversations." Feel the difference? You didn't compliment him. You didn't chase. You didn't try to sell yourself. You created a moment. You painted a shared picture he didn't even know existed until you spoke it into the air. Or say you're teasing him a bit and you drop, "You and me, if we ever teamed up, we'd win every argument." It's simple, it's soft, it's imaginative, it's emotionally charged without being heavy. It's a spark disguised as a sentence. And yes, maybe a small voice inside you wonders, what if that's too bold? Or, what if he doesn't respond? But here's something many women don't realize. You're not saying these things for the reaction. You're saying them to create an impression. And impressions don't disappear. They sink in. They linger in the quiet spaces of his mind. Even if he doesn't reply right away, trust me, he felt it. Because this isn't chasing, this is owning your presence. This is confidence without pressure. This is the kind of moment that makes a man pause, not because he feels pushed, but because he suddenly sees a new possibility in front of him. So next time the vibe is aligned, Don't shut down. Don't go silent out of fear. Don't overthink. Don't retreat behind the safe version of yourself. Drop the spark. Drop the moment. Say it gently. Say it casually. Say it like it's nothing, but mean it like it's everything. You and me, it's not a trick. It's an opening. A doorway he wasn't expecting. And where we're going next, this is where timing becomes everything. Because even the most beautiful phrase won't ignite anything if it's dropped too early or too often. Timing is the invisible rhythm behind emotional impact. If the wood is too wet, the match won't catch. But when the moment is right, one tiny spark can light the whole room. Stay with me. It's about to get sharper, more exact, and even more powerful. This phrase isn't about control at all. It's about confidence, the kind that doesn't need to shout or prove anything. You're not chasing his attention when you use it. You're creating presence, real presence. Let that sit with you for a moment, because this part right here is the shift, the turning point a lot of women never reach. You and me isn't some trick. It's not a sneaky way to get him to look at you. It's a mirror of how you see yourself. It doesn't land because it sounds clever. It lands because of the energy you deliver it with. When those words leave your mouth with quiet certainty, they speak a whole language underneath the surface. A language that says, I'm not waiting to be chosen. I am the choice. Jung reminded us that the unconscious is drawn toward clarity, symbols, confidence, and certainty. So when you speak from a place of grounded belief, you don't just communicate, you become a symbol in his mind. A rare signal in a world full of people hesitating, doubting themselves, shrinking to stay safe. You become the lighthouse that stands still even when the ocean moves around it. Think of it like this. You've probably heard someone nervously ask, do you maybe want to hang out sometime? That doesn't feel confident. That's someone knocking on a door they already have the key to, but still asking permission to enter. Now flip it around. Imagine saying, you and me should check out that spot downtown sometime. Don't you feel the difference? That sentence has presence. It has direction. It has ease. It doesn't beg. It suggests. It opens a path. And if he's tuned into you, he'll naturally follow the current you just created. Ask yourself honestly, do you want to be the woman who tiptoed around her truth, hoping it would be enough? Or the woman who said one unforgettable line that made him actually feel something? Because here's the thing that people try to avoid admitting. Energy doesn't lie. You can say the perfect words, but if you deliver them like you're praying they'll work, they fall flat. But when you speak from a place of inner knowing, when your body and tone say, I'm enough whether you respond or not, suddenly everything shifts. Suddenly he looks at you differently. Suddenly he senses something rare. It isn't about being louder or pushier. It's about going deeper. It isn't about being aggressive. It's about being aligned. That is feminine power. True feminine power never screams. It doesn't beg. It doesn't prove. It stands still in its truth and lets people come closer on their own. So stop waiting for the invitation. Stop being scared of the door. Start being the invitation. Because the moment you stop trying to prove your worth and start speaking like someone who already knows her worth, that's when the entire energy flips. That's when you stop being ignored, ghosted, or forgotten. That's when you start being felt, remembered, replayed in his mind long after the moment ends. And where we're going next, the thing most women get wrong, is timing. Not the words, not the intention, but the timing, the razor-thin edge where emotional intelligence really matters. Most women miss the mark not because they say the wrong thing, but because they say the right thing at the wrong time. And they don't know how to deliver truth without adding pressure. Stay here with me. What comes next is precision. Your energy enters the space before your words ever do. That's the part people ignore. You can say the perfect phrase, but if your tone is off, if you sound anxious, if your body language is tight, the phrase dies before it even reaches him. That's the truth many people don't want to hear. because it means the work isn't just in memorizing lines, it's in who you are while saying them. You could say "you and me" 100 times, but if your eyes are darting around, your voice is shaky, your posture is curled in, and your energy whispers, "Please like me," nothing will land. Not because the phrase is wrong, but because the energy behind it isn't aligned with confidence. Now imagine this line: "You and me would make a dangerous team." Watch how the meaning changes depending on the person delivering it. One woman says it with her arms folded tight, shoulders raised, eyes looking down at the floor, voice soft and uncertain. She hopes he feels something, but her body says she doesn't believe her own words. The other says it with relaxed shoulders, open posture, steady eye contact. Her voice is calm, not loud, not dramatic, just grounded. She has a small, effortless smile that almost says, "I'm good either way." No pressure, no neediness, no fear. Same words, completely different world. One is forgettable, one is unforgettable. Because calm confidence pulls people in. It's magnetic. It feels real. It feels settled. Most people don't know how to be settled. They only know how to perform. And performance always cracks eventually. Presence doesn't. Your energy tells a man everything. It tells him whether you're speaking from fullness or reaching from emptiness, whether you're offering connection or begging for validation. And no matter how beautiful you look, energy reveals everything. You don't need to raise your voice or exaggerate to be powerful. You need to be present. Look him in the eyes, not like you're asking for approval, but like you're simply meeting him exactly where he stands. Keep your body relaxed, not stiff, not small, not tightened. Stand or sit like someone who already knows her value. That stillness you feel when you're not chasing, when you don't need anything from the moment, that's your power. Let that stillness wrap around your words. Let it carry them. Let it fill the silence after them. Because when you say something meaningful and then pause, that's when it drops deeper. That's when it reaches the part of him you never reach by rushing. We should honestly stop calling it confidence and start calling it congruence, because your words and your body need to say the same thing. When they match, everything flows. When they don't, everything falls apart. When your inner world finally lines up with the way you express yourself on the outside, something powerful happens. He doesn't just listen to your words, he actually feels them in his body. And that's the difference between a line he forgets in 2 seconds and a line that builds a memory inside him. Now let's move toward the next part, the part almost every woman skips without realizing it. When do you say it? Because timing isn't a small detail, it's everything. If you say it too early, it feels heavy. It feels like pressure, like an invisible push he didn't ask for. If you wait too long, the moment slips away and the window that could have opened something new becomes a closed door. But if you say it at the perfect moment, not too soon and not too late, suddenly you're not just speaking to his mind. You're pulling his attention in a way he can't explain. Stay with me, because this is the part where accuracy becomes power. Timing is sacred. Don't rush yourself. Don't throw your best energy into a space that isn't ready to hold it. A woman with emotional wisdom doesn't speak just to get a reaction or to hear pretty words back. She speaks when the moment is open. She waits for the window, that small but meaningful shift where the connection is alive and breathing. In real human connection, that tiny moment is everything. You could have the softest tone, the warmest presence, the most natural charm, and the sweetest choice of words. But if you say something like "you and me" before the vibe is settled, it won't feel exciting. It will feel like a sales pitch. And nothing kills attraction faster than a moment that feels forced. When it lands too soon, he automatically pulls away. When you repeat it too much, it loses its weight. The meaning fades because the energy behind it becomes thin. He stops feeling the depth of what you intended. This isn't just about the phrase itself. It's about the right moment, the right softness, the right atmosphere. The perfect time is when everything is light, when the energy is easy, when the conversation is flowing without effort, when he's laughing in a relaxed way, when he's leaning in without thinking about it, when his eyes soften just a little because he's comfortable. That's the moment you place it. You drop it gently into the space like it already belonged there from the start. Not loud, not dramatic, not stiff, just smooth and natural, like a quiet spark. Imagine this. He's talking about a food place he loves, maybe some taco truck he says is unbeatable. You smile, not in a big showy way, but in a soft, confident way, and you say, "You and me should try that spot one day. Let's see if it's really as good as you say." And that's it. You don't make it heavy. You don't stare at him waiting for approval. You don't turn it into a moment where he has to decide something right there. You just paint a tiny picture and let it float. No pressure, no weight, just a simple moment. The power is in the ease, in the way you let it breathe. You didn't make it a question. You didn't cling to it. You didn't push for a response. You offered the idea and then let the silence carry it away like a small seed falling into soil. You trusted that if it lands in him, it will grow on its own. And that is the heart of attraction, not a shout, not a plea, not a demand. A whisper that lingers long after the moment has passed. Most women grip too tightly. They hold the moment like they're scared it will disappear unless he reacts right now. They want certainty immediately. They try to control the response, trying to measure his expression, his breath, his smile, his eyes. But the woman who knows her own value doesn't do that. She drops the line gently and lets the silence do what silence does best. She knows stillness has energy. She knows that the quiet after her words is where he starts to feel something. She knows he might think about it later when he's alone, driving home, replaying the night in his mind. And suddenly, out of nowhere, the thought hits him. You and me. That would be a dangerous combination. That would be something. And he smiles, not because she forced it, but because the idea reached him on its own. It made its way into him without pressure, and he won't even know why it stayed in his mind. That isn't manipulation. That's meaning. That's emotional truth. That's resonance. The kind of resonance that doesn't fade quickly. It's a soft ripple that reaches his inner world. And here's the beautiful part. If he really felt it, you won't need to bring it up again. You won't need to repeat it, or push it, or remind him. It will already be echoing inside him. A woman who moves like this doesn't just stay in his memory. She becomes a symbol. She becomes a small myth, something he thinks about when he doesn't expect to. She becomes a story that lives under the surface of his mind even when he's busy. She's not asking to be remembered. She becomes unforgettable because of her presence, her calmness, her timing, and most importantly, her ability to let go after she says something real. Don't chase his reaction. Don't sit there waiting to be graded like you're waiting for a score. Don't stare at his face to see if he approved. Speak like someone who knows her voice has power even when she lets it rest, even when she leaves the moment open. Because now we step into the part almost everyone forgets, the silence. That space right after you speak. Sometimes the quiet moment is louder than the words you said. Let the silence work for you. If you drop a phrase and instantly search his face for what he's thinking, the magic dissolves. The power slips away. If you say you and me and then freeze, waiting for him to smile or reassure you, the energy changes. It starts saying something you didn't mean. It starts saying, I need your reaction to feel okay. But that's not why you said it. You said it because it felt right. You said it because it was true to the moment. The silence afterward isn't empty. It's full. It's where the meaning of your words can settle inside him. It's the space where your voice transforms into emotion. And that is the difference between someone who performs and someone who lands. A woman with real confidence isn't scared of silence. She invites it. She trusts it. She lets it stretch and breathe. She understands that a phrase said with the right tone, at the right moment, with the right energy behind it can stay with a man for days, sometimes weeks. It becomes a soft echo that keeps returning to him. And now, where we're moving next, this is the space where your words stop being simple lines and start becoming symbols, little emotional anchors that stay in his memory long after the moment is over.